Hey everyone, it's Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. I've been a very heavy consumer of Korean and Asian skincare for about 6 years, and of course I've written hundreds of reviews, I think about 700 on my blog alone. I've done even more before I started my blog because I used to review for Facebook groups, and I also used to freelance as a translator for somebody else's blog. So there are lots and lots and lots of things that I've tried and I've done, and there's certain things that I learned over 6 years that I thought you might find useful. If there's something that you learned, please drop me a comment and let me know, because I absolutely love reading your comments and seeing what input you have. These are in no particular order. Number one is somewhat obvious, but I thought it's still important to state, and that's all skin is different. It's great to read reviews, it's good to talk to your friends, it's good to watch influencers and even dermatologists. But just because something worked for somebody else does not mean that it will work for you, and because something didn't work for somebody else doesn't mean that it won't work for you. Your skin is your own, so the only way to for sure know if something will work for you is to try it. And of course you can't possibly try everything, and reviews are a nice helpful starting point, but just don't discount something just because it didn't work for somebody else. Number two, cleansers should be gentle. I cannot tell you how much of a warpath I was on against my oily skin when I was a teenager. I wanted that squeaky clean feeling. I used rubbing alcohol to wipe the excess oil off my face. If the cleanser didn't make me feel as dry as a Sahara desert, I didn't want it. It had to be as just intense as possible. And I understand now that that's not the way. That just makes the skin produce more oil a lot of the times, or it can cause irritation, dryness, flaking, etc., etc. So now I go for gentle cleansers, and I love double cleansing, which is starting with a cleansing oil or balm to break up all the oil-soluble impurities in makeup, and then finishing off with a foaming cleanser to take off anything that the cleansing balm may have missed. And that works so much better. And no, my skin doesn't feel squeaky clean afterwards, but I don't expect it to. And actually, if something does make my skin squeaky clean, it is no longer a selling point for me. It is more of a negative and makes me rethink that whole cleanser, and maybe it's not for my face. Number three is that skin can be dehydrated but also oily. Hydration and moisturization are two completely different things, and it drives me just a little bit batty when people ask for like hydrating creams or moisturizing toners. And I don't want to be a snob, I don't want to sound like a snob. Can a toner have some moisturizing ingredients? Probably. But hydration is water. That usually comes from watery, thin layers like essences and some serums and toners. Moisturizing is oil. That's what keeps the water in your skin. Skin can be oily but dehydrated. When my combination skin gets dehydrated, when it doesn't get enough water, it produces what I call revenge oil. It gets oilier to try and retain whatever water it does have. For me, the way to deal with this excess oil is to hydrate my skin a whole lot. Usually I do that at night because I don't necessarily want a lot of layers in the morning, but at night I will do a toner or maybe two, an essence, a serum, and then I will seal it all with a nice moisturizer to keep all of that in. And by doing that consistently, it really normalized my skin. It behaves more like normal skin, even though my skin is combination. If you have oily skin or combination skin and want more of tips like that, I do have some tips for oily skin videos. I'll put a link in the description box. Number four, and this took me a while, and at first when I saw that I thought, seriously, how do people do that? But that's ditching face towels. I don't use face towels at all anymore. I also don't use cotton pads for toner. I do sometimes use toner pads, which are pads already pre-soaked with toner or essence. That's different. What I'm talking about are cotton pads that you yourself saturate with toner. So let me explain. I do have some routine videos that you can watch where I show this if you're more of a visual learner. But basically what I do is I wash my face at night. I will take my hands and sometimes just like rub off very gently, just wipe off with my hands excess dripping water because I don't want things dripping. But then I apply my skincare to moist skin right away. Some exceptions to that are certain actives and tretinoin, things like that should be applied to dry skin, but most toners, essences, serums are great to go on moist skin, and it actually helps trap all of that water that you have on your face from just washing it. I learned this trick partially from Korean and Asian YouTubers, but partially also from Dr. Dre, who's a fantastic dermatologist. on YouTube as well, and she always talked about putting things on moist skin, so I do that now. And with the pads, less friction is better. Also, if you are using toner every single day, imagine needing a cotton pad every single day. That gets a little bit wasteful. I know there are reusable cotton pads that you can just throw in the washer, but those tend to soak up a ton of toner and then not really release it back to the face, so then you're wasting toner. Obviously, you do you, whatever works for you is fine, but if you've never tried applying toner with your hands and if you've never tried not drying your face with a towel, give that a try. My next tip is that sometimes less is more, sometimes more is better, and you just have to listen to your skin. Do you need a super elaborate 10-step skincare routine? Maybe not. Maybe if your skin is super sensitive, maybe if you have psoriasis, maybe if you have eczema, maybe if just touching your face for 10 consecutive skincare steps irritates it, maybe that's not for you. Maybe you need 5 steps. But if you're only using 3 things and that's not enough for your skin, maybe you need to add some more. There's no one-size-fits-all skincare, and we seem to be going through trends with skincare. Back in 2016, 2017, when I was really getting into Korean beauty and when I was doing the freelance translations for this other blog, there was a trend of showing all the products that people use in a day, and there would be like 20 bottles, 30 bottles, multi-step skincare routines in the morning, multi-step skincare routines in the evening, and that was sort of the trend. Now we're seeing more all-in-one products, skip care, which is where you skip certain steps, things that try to do all-in-one, like the Hygge, they do this one-step essence where it's everything in one. Well, all of that is great and trends are fun, and sometimes I also fall victim to the trends, but at the end of the day, your skin is your skin, so try different things and see what works for you. Sometimes I do a 12-step skincare routine or more. I have a video where I think I have 16 different steps in that one. Sometimes all I can do is wash my face and slap some moisturizer on and go pass out. And last but not least is sometimes skincare product hypes are well deserved, and sometimes not so much. I'm kind of a rebel at heart, and when I was a teenager, if everybody liked something, I was going to automatically hate it, and that sort of stayed with me. I can't say I'm unbiased, I try to be, but when something goes viral or super hyped up, like Glow Recipe products for example, or the Skin 104 Centella, or some of the other viral products, I automatically want to hate it. I don't know why, that's just how I'm wired. But I learned that sometimes hype is very well deserved, and sometimes not so much. And sometimes I get FOMO, fear of missing out, and need to try things for myself. So I have a whole series of overhyped product videos where I talk about my personal experience with very hyped up products and whether or not I thought they were any good or not. And it's kind of surprising. Some of them are good and some are not. Now with Glow Recipe, unfortunately, I tend to love their products and I still really want to hate them, but I just can't because they're good. If you're new to K-Beauty, or you are a seasoned veteran, or you're somewhere in between like me, please tell me what you learned or some of the things that you found interesting in the comments. I love to hear from you. And of course, it would totally help if you subscribed and liked this video. I don't usually ask people to do that, but I'm gonna ask today on the off chance that it helps. So thank you very much for watching. You can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, my blog KBeautyHobbit.com, and in my Facebook group Korean Beauty Fanatics. I'll see you in my next video, and until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much.